My name is Shaina, and we are a family of 5. We are from Israel. Originally, we were born with my husband in Ukraine, and we immigrated to Israel. And 9 years ago, we came here in Canada. In our country, in Israel, official language is Hebrew, and recognized language is Arabic too. And we are, as a family from Russia, from Ukraine, we speak Russian too. I learned English here in Canada when we came in. I took courses in Magma, and by myself with my children. And a little bit we were prepared before coming here, and we started to learn English in Israel. If we compare Israel to Nouveau-Brunswick, it's probably 4 or 5 times Nouveau-Brunswick bigger than Israel. In 2022, around 9.5 million people, the population is very dense. It was not an easy decision to move here. I think it's altogether the situation in Israel very dangerous. And since we have been living in Israel for 25 years, we were involved in a couple wars. It's not safe, very safe for children. Our goal was to move here for future of our children and maybe more opportunities and a more safe place. The bigger event now in our country, it's still going on. It started on October 7th, 2023, and it's still going on. And it was a big shock for all of us, for Israel itself, for all the citizens, and for us especially because we are far away from our families. And this is actual war between Israeli and more not Palestinian, more Hamas people, a military organization which is considered as a terroristic organization. So, and for sure we can see some aspects which affect us here too. Like anti-Semitism is raised in the big cities in Canada, and there are some special situations in schools and universities which make us very worried about our children too. I think in the lights of current events and in general, the big stereotype about our culture or country, it's, let's say, almost the same, that we are took over the place which we shouldn't take. But it's not true, because all people who their religion is monotheistic, they know that in Old Testament this place was given to Jewish people. Historically, this is our territory, but the big stereotype, it's kind of we were invasive and we took over the place. First of all, Israel was established in 1948 after a lot of debates. In May 14, it was established, and the base for the Israeli state was the religion, and it's a Jewish religion. All the holidays and all the school breaks, they are going according to the Jewish holidays in Israel. This is major population, Jewish people, and if we can see, it's only one country where Jewish are majority people, around 73%, and the Arabic people who observes the Christian religion and the Muslim religion, it's around 21%, and others it's like around 6%. What's very important that Jewish holidays, and according to this, on all Jewish holidays we are not permitted to work or to have classes, which sometimes it's contradicts here with classes and after schools clubs for families, for children. We have certain types of holidays, and for Jewish people, they are all very important. It starts with the Rosh Hashanah, and this is like New Year, Jewish New Year. All Jewish calendar is going according to the lunar calendar, and this holiday is symbolize the start of the year. After that, we have Yom Kippur, which is also very important. The Day of Atonement, a very solemn day devoted to fasting, prayer, and repentance for all Jewish people. And this, in our family, it was like big problem to have children at home on this day if it falls not on weekend. We had to get some letter from our rabbi and to give to teachers in the school to have our children free on that date. Those holidays very important. We have more, and what combine all these holidays, Orthodox Jewish, they are not allowed to work or to have classes, exams on that days. Another holiday which is happening also at the same time, almost the same time as the Christmas, and this is Hanukkah. The most Canadian, they are know about this holiday, but not another other holidays, and obviously it's because almost the same time as a Christmas. This holiday is 1 week long, and every night we light candles. Each night it's one more candle till we have 9 candles in the end. On Hanukkah, which is a candle holder, it's built like 9 in line holders for candles. The tradition for families, and it doesn't matter if it's very religion or it's just keeping tradition, to gain with friends to light candles. And we used to also light candles here in Moncton near City Hall. And this year, last year, it was a big celebration. There we have also friends from Fredericton and Halifax to light with us candles. So on this holiday, most of the families who have young children, they give them presents, and families who have teenagers or older children, they give like a money gift. This is one of the also important holiday for Jewish people, and it's kind of a part of our tradition too. Special food as usual, and I think it's for all religions, some special food for some special holidays. So for Hanukkah, we have usually it's latkes, it's like pancakes from potatoes and donuts with a lot of oil and jam, sweet and oily. For Orthodox Jewish families, all these holidays are very important, and the most important that the children can't have and parents, they can't work or have classes on their days, which is sometimes it's problematic. So the level of religion in each family, it could be different. And what I say, like our family, we don't work on Shabbat, which is Shabbat. It's also very important. It's not holiday, but it's happening every week. Starts on Friday night and finish and ending on Saturday with dark. On that day, we also, as on holidays, we are not allowed to work or to have classes or exams. For our family, we are keeping more strict traditions, but the level of religion, it could be different for all families. Some families, it will be important not to work or to have classes on Shabbat or holidays, and some families, it will be very important. Some families, they identify themselves as a Jewish, but they don't keep any tradition. For example, they eat regular food. They can eat prohibited food for Jewish people, which is seafood and pork. And it could be another family in the same school, which keeping more tradition, and they don't eat pork, and they don't eat seafood, and they don't mix milk with meat in their meals. The same for celebration of holidays. It could be some families, like our family, we don't work on that holidays, and we try to be in the synagogue for that days. And other families just have catering with another families, friends, and celebrate those holidays too, but in a mild way. So it's just important for teachers to know that there are different levels, and maybe to keep knowledge that it could be Jewish people with no keeping traditions, and it could be other side Orthodox, which have special clothes, and like boy don't allow to touch a girl. And in general in Israel, those schools, they have separate schools at all for girls and boys since a certain age. Mostly it's since grade first, but the most of the Jewish people in even in Israel, they studying in government schools, which is together studying together, boys and girls. But most of the people, they keep celebrate all important holidays, Jewish holidays. There are Jews from different places, and they brought in from that places culture and specific foods and also traditions. For example, during Passover, we don't eat any flour, any yeast. That's very plain food during those 7 days, and Moroccan Jews, they used to celebrate it after by doing special food from flour, and it's like crepes with a lot of jam. In Jewish tradition, usually the close family, like parents and children, they live separate, but there are some exceptions. Sometimes families take over mom or dad, which stayed alone without their partner. And it depends on the personality of the parents and family itself, and abilities, the place to live together. We are as a Russian family from, like Jewish family from Russia, because we both, with my husband from Russia, I was used to in Russia that parents were live with children. In Israel, it's less common. In close family, children, they live with their parents pretty long. When they turn 18, it doesn't say that they have to leave the house. Especially in our family, I see in this, if they can live with parents and to study, it's just saving money and their time, because it's easier. But if they need to move to another place to study, it very depends on the family and personality of parents and grandparents. Let's start with religion. It's not common in religion, and it's not allowed to have those relationships. But as a modern community in Israel, it's not criminalized, and it's supported by most of the people, or just neutral reaction, let's say, for this. Israel is a modern country, and if we will take people less religion, that's the majority of people, they feel the partners, the couples, they feel as equal in some ways, but in some ways it's still like men taking decisions a little bit more than women. But in social life and in work life, it's like a modern world. In most families, woman works as men works, and sometimes it's also full-time jobs. If we will take part children and parents, so obviously the children should respect their parents and hear what they are saying. Sometimes it's hard, but when we're getting to teenager age, but most families, they are regulated in this way. More religion people, it's a little bit, the main position is a little bit more taking decisions and more important, or at least looking more important, because the woman try also to show to men that he is important for family, to encourage him to do some stuff for family work or some other activities. We are, as a family, probably belongs to majority of the people, and let's say we are equal in decisions about money, about education of children, and in general, I think it's very important to be on the same page with the partner about education, children education. Also, we tried to raise our children in a respectful way, that they will respect their parents and grandparents, and in general, old people. So if we think about men and women role in a social life, we can tell that girls and boys, they are both serve in military. It's just different term of service. Girls in the same position as boys, they can serve combat roles in the army. I think in all the hot countries where the weather is very hot, and Israel it's not exception, the body language is very important and very active. The people, they use actively their body language, and it's very obvious. They use mimic of face and hands, and in general the positions of the body and movements. When we want somebody to wait a little bit, like 1 minute, like give me 1 minute, it's like just wait a little bit. I think it's offensive for everybody, not just for Congo people, when somebody calls you in this way. But it's not special for Jewish people. It's a little bit different. There is respect for personal space. It also depends on the people from where they came to Israel and what most tradition they brought in. There is respect for personal space, but people more close to each other. I found that a lot of people, they more hug each other, they more kiss each other than here in Canada. It's more common if even at workplace, if people are friends, to come in and to hug each other. And if they are not friends, it will be respect for personal space. So here is two situations. Depends on if they are friends or they are just colleagues. Also depends on from where the parents or grandparents came in. For example, the people who came from Europe, they are more punctual. And people who came from North Africa, in Israel, from Morocco, could be less, but it's not necessary. It very depends on the personality. Very respectful by workplaces to be punctual. I was a nurse, so it wasn't so common in between nurses to go to, like, to let know your employer that you go to see therapist. But in general, this problem known in Israel by medical organizations, and you can access the help with no problem. It's not a shame to tell that you have going through the hard processes and your mental health is not 100%. It also depends on personality. Some people prefer to go and to get help, and some people try to get over by themselves. It's not recognized by employer that you saying, I need day off for my mental health. No, it's it's not actual like recognized by employer. And I found here more easier to tell, oh, I'm overwhelmed, I need some week short term because I stressed out or whatever. It's like more easier, people can state this. In Israel, no. But you can get help, and there is no problem to get help and to be in process with the psychologist or to get medical help like pills or. I think it's almost the same, and neutral topics preferable. I would say it's the same as in Canada. For me, it was natural. For example, for my husband, he doesn't like small talk, so he had to learn it in Israel and he had to learn it here. So it depends on personality. It also depends on the level of people who observe the religion. But for myself in person, I don't like to talk about the war in our place, especially at work, because first of all, it could be we have different opinions about, and I don't want to raise topics which can bring some conflict at the workplace. So for me, it's kind of taboo to talk about this at workplace. For example, for Orthodox people, taboo, a boy can't touch girl, but here in New-Brunswick, we can see it very, very rare because we don't have like actual Orthodox community here. Our community is Orthodox, but not that much. In the government education, in the regular schools, government schools, they learn the same subjects about sexual education, about physical education, like foods and everything. I would say it's not taboo, but you can talk with Jewish people about kosher food or non-kosher food. It's not taboo, it's just speciality of our what we eat as Jewish people. And if we will talk about religion side, it's even common before getting married to have education with a rabbi or rebbitzin, separately for sure, but they have young people have education. They teach them how to build relationship with their husband or their wife, and they also talk about sexual education. So I see like in all sub communities in Jewish people, they have education even about those topics. It's two separated populations, non-religion and religion. Religion, yes, they have to cover their head, and men have to put a kippah. It's kind of a small circle material they put on the top of head, and they put also tzitzit, which is white ropes from like on the four sides of their t-shirt. A woman also should cover her hair in Orthodox communities. Majority of families, they just try to teach their children not to open too much of their body. Like it should be modest, clothes, but in our family it can be modern clothes, but not to open too much of the body. We had a really good experience with our children in Canada, here in the schools. When we came in, my twins, they were in elementary school, and my oldest one, she was in middle school. For example, for my boy, it was great here because the people more calm and teachers more calm and more patient with the children. So they didn't have any challenges here in Canada, except of the sometimes like explaining about our traditions and to have days off when it's important for our holidays, and explaining about customs of our food, like what we eat and what we don't eat. But it's not challenge, it's just a difference. It's a little bit different from Israel here, education system. When we just came in, it was benefit for us because the program was a little bit behind than what they had in Israel already, and that gave them time to learn 2 languages at the same time, English and French. But if I will see in general the position of education here, I would say it could be more challenging, and I see a big gap between school program and university program after that. Requirements in university program are higher than they finish their last grade in school. My oldest one, she did a DSS program here in the UDM, and her first year was really hard. We were very close to get a tutor, but she was okay with, but for other children it could be yes. I would like them, first of all, to know that for example, I have twins, boy and girl, and when we came here, I asked school to separate them in the classes. So because they were separated from grade first, and in Israel it's very common practice to separate twins, different classes, to give them opportunity to develop their personality separate from their brother or sister. Here the teachers couldn't understand me why I want to separate them, so I had to explain myself, and they did separate them. And another, it's not big problem, it's big difference in education system. In Israel, they start with a certain amount of children in the same class, and they go all these grades with the same class, the same children. And here it's more like mix and match every year. Or even every semester. For 2 of my children, it was like 2 years was very hard because they didn't have any of their friends in their class. 1 year I even called principal and I asked her try to move my boy to another class or one of his friends, and she said no, they have to learn how to make a social communication with the other people and make more friends to have those skills. So maybe they have to know, I don't say they have to change it, but maybe they have to know that in other countries it's a little bit different. Maybe to be a little bit friendly with this part of combining children in the classes. Thank you very much for all teachers who were interested to know about our culture, Jewish people, and the specific aspects about our culture.